You know how we do it around here. There is no such thing as a bad win when it comes to a college football Saturday. And USC's win over Colorado 48-41 in Boulder, no less, is no exception. But even so, what we do here on Sunday mornings, one, churn out a ton of content because y'all love college football. We love college football. We want to talk about the Saturday that was. The second part of that is we tell the truth. It is Tell the Truth Sunday around here. So we're going to unpack some of the good, some of the bad, and what maybe the future holds for USC after this game against Colorado. Again, the Trojans were victorious on the road, but there's more to this than what meets the eye. First things first, make sure you're dialed in right here. Make sure you're subscribed to the On3 YouTube channel. The hard count is live, not once, not twice, but 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're talking ball. We're only talking ball. So make sure you're subscribed there. Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram and on Twitter, or if you want to call it X, that's fine with us too. Both of those platforms at JD Piquel to stay with everything that we're doing here. So we appreciate y'all in advance for that. So when it comes to this game, like we said, Tell the Truth Sunday. That's what we do right here. The good news for USC, Caleb Williams is just ridiculous. Yesterday went 30 for 40. Yes, 40 attempts, 6 touchdowns. Had 1 INT, was trying to make a play downfield. Left it short, got intercepted. Regardless, his skill set, what he does throwing the football, what he does ad-libbing, what he does when he decides to tuck it and run, what he does with the awkward arm angles. Like, there is no answer defensively for his skill set. Period, point blank, the end. All right, other part of this. He will give USC a chance in every single football game they play. We're going to talk about the defense here in a second. But when you have number 13 playing quarterback for you, when he's healthy, he will keep USC in every single football game, or he will at least have the opportunity to keep USC in every single football game. He's that kind of talented. He's that kind of special. He's that kind of generational. So let's enjoy him right now while he's in college football, because my gut tells me I don't think it'll be a whole lot longer. Just kind of the reality. If you're a Trojan fan, you don't love to hear that. But again, that's the reality. Caleb Williams gives you a chance in every single football game. He's special. He proved it again yesterday. He was electric in every sense of the word, and he was a big reason as to why you scored 48 points. So that's one piece. Now, Tell the Truth Sunday, right? I've said that now a couple of times throughout this one segment. The bad news is Caleb Williams is your best defense for USC. And what I mean by that is Caleb Williams, with what he does and what this offense does and how many points they score, that is your best answer to what your defense at USC has not been able to do to this point in the year. Now, I've held this stance here for a long time throughout, since we played San Jose State for USC. I've held this stance. Hey, USC's defense does not need to be a finished product until they play Notre Dame October 14th. And even then, finished product, I meant we just need to be serviceable or up to what we're going to be for the back half of our schedule in that game against Notre Dame. Now, the caveat to that statement is there is a steady upward trend for this defense, and we just haven't seen that yet. I don't know if you're pounding the panic button or you're pounding the alarm button or anything like that just yet, but there's a lot that I saw yesterday that really concerns me. I saw a USC team that won a track meet. And we've seen USC win track meets before. We saw it last year. But the whole approach with going to the portal and grabbing Bear Alexander and getting more pieces for the defensive line and upgrading the personnel level was so you wouldn't have to keep playing these track meets. So it wouldn't have to go back to Caleb Williams. Hey, Caleb, we need 48 today. Can you do that for us? Okay, great. Thank you. Caleb Williams can't be your best defense. Your defense has to be your best defense. And that's not to say the defense didn't make timely plays yesterday. They did at times, but even so, there was a lot left to be desired. And Colorado's got good players. They threw for 371. They ran for 193, but Colorado's not really a running football team. They're not supposed to run for almost 200 yards against this USC Trojan defensive line. And the thing that's concerning, one, like I said, we don't see that upward trend right now. I don't see a USC defense that week in and week out, I'm saying, okay, wow, I see progress. Wow, hey, they're getting better. Wow, hey, that looks better than it did last week. I kind of see the same song, second verse, but now we're finished with week 5. This is same song, 5th verse at this point if you're USC. That's the frustrating part. And again, you don't want to take anything away from Colorado. But for USC, this was a tremendous opportunity to go on the road, play an offense that's really good in the Pac-12, and make a statement, yes, to the country, but even more so to build internal confidence, to make a statement to yourself that, hey, we do have good pieces. Hey, we do have guys that can match up and win one-on-one matchups when they play a good wide receiver or when we play inside zone. We can handle that. I didn't see that from USC, and that's frustrating, that's discouraging, and it's a little bit concerning with what you have the rest of the way. Because, again, it wasn't anything crazy I saw Colorado do. Now, Sean Lewis called a great game plan. We're talking about that in another video, so make sure you're subscribed and we'll talk about that. But as it pertains to USC, I saw them not playing inside zone really well. I saw them get washed up field and the run game hit up the middle like we saw against Arizona State. I saw Colorado spread them out and create matchups and put the secondary in a bind and have issues covering the entirety of the field. I saw Colorado straight up just create one-on-one matchups and then win one-on-one matchups. And I don't mean to sound like I'm dunking on USC here because, again, there's no bad wins in college football. But on Tell the Truth Sunday, we have to understand here, Caleb Williams right now is our best defense if we're USC. And it's frustrating that you weren't able to make a statement to yourself yesterday in Boulder in that kind of atmosphere and in that kind of game. So, even with all that being said, Colorado is good and you beat them. Offensively, Colorado's a good football team. They scored 41. I think Colorado proved a lot to the rest of the country yesterday. There's going to be a lot compared with, hey, USC beat them by this much in this fashion. Oregon beat them by this fashion and by this much. Oregon was at home. Colorado was at home for USC. Like, I don't know if you necessarily view those exactly the same. I understand where you're coming from. I think there's things to take away from that if you're trying to judge the way that Oregon and USC played Colorado, but I don't know that it's a perfect apples-to-apples comparison. But for USC now, the thing that concerns me is you have to play at Notre Dame, you have Washington, you have at Oregon. Like, it ain't getting any easier. Colorado's a good offense, but I think those other offenses will present their own issues to you if you're USC that you have to figure out. Bottom line, for USC, Caleb Williams, and we said this all offseason, Caleb Williams for USC needs to go from being the equalizer to being the edge. Caleb Williams needs to be the reason why you win football games, not the reason why you're in football games. That's great that he can keep you in a football game. That's great that he can be the reason why you make a couple plays and it's close late and he's the guy that, you know, you're glad he's your quarterback, obviously. But I want this USC defense to hold it down and allow Caleb Williams and that offense to pull away. So, going forward, one game does not define you. There may be some things, quite frankly, that is going on internally at USC that we don't have a gauge for, that maybe they're watching the tape this morning and saying, hey, we did this better. And to the untrained eye from us on the outside looking in, not knowing USC's defensive playbook, maybe there are some positive trends that you're looking at that will eventually maybe show themselves down the line. But the good news is you would much rather break down tape after a win than after a loss. There's a lot to coach up, and they're getting to coach it up with an undefeated record. So going forward, I would say this for USC. You won a game on the road against a good offense. And going forward now for USC, it just takes one moment, just takes one game in a lot of sense to kind of redefine what you think you are internally in a positive fashion. And I think for USC, that game could still be out there. It might be the game at Notre Dame where you kind of start to figure things out, and maybe that's the game that puts the pep in your step. You wish it was this game, but just because it wasn't this game doesn't mean that game doesn't exist for USC. So I'm excited to watch them the rest of the way. It gets real now. It's October 1st. Happy October. It is now time for USC to find their extra gear and to get ready for the beast of a slate they have. But regardless, USC, again, no bad wins in college football. We're going to talk about the defense. Of course, we have to talk about the defense. But you have one of the best offensive minds as your head coach in Lincoln Riley. You have the best player in college football, that is Caleb Williams. You have a myriad of weapons. You didn't even have Zachariah Branch yesterday, still scored 48 points, still found a way to get a big-time win in a raucous atmosphere in Boulder, Colorado. No bad wins. USC got a win yesterday. So make sure you're dialed in right here. Again, make sure you're subscribed. Live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Looking forward to seeing y'all there. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.